Most of the ball games that have been played in here, of course, have been baseball games, but on Sundays in the fall, until about 7 years ago or so, this place belonged to the Baltimore Colts. By the time the Colts had drawn national attention to themselves and to the National Football League with the oft-replayed 1958 sudden death championship game against the New York Giants, they were well on their way to becoming an institution, a way of life with the fans in this area. Not that they were an overnight sensation. Years of apprenticeship in the old All-America Football Conference and more years of very limited success in the NFL laid the foundation for the explosion of fan loyalty of the late 50s and the 60s.
We were hot dogs then. we were really hot after that game.
Television was just becoming a big thing at that time, and it was much bigger than we ever thought it would be.
I remember that the very end of the overtime period, Unitas threw to Metro, went out of bounds on the 1-yard line, and NBC lost its picture. It went dark, went blank all over the country, and they tell me here in Baltimore a lot of television sets were destroyed.
That 58 championship game became the first of a string of playoff and championship games that lasted through the mid-70s. Good seasons, of course, come from good players. The Colts had more than their share of them. The Baltimore Colts have 6 players and a coach in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We Viewbank the coach, Raymond Berry, Art Donovan, Gino Marchetti, Lenny Moore, Jim Parker, John Unitas, the players. And the fans knew them well. They watched them play on Sundays. They watched them on TV Sunday nights and Monday nights on Corral and the Colts. And they watched them on pregame programs. And in the off-season, they got to meet them in person, pull up a chair at a banquet table and talk football with these guys who were legends in their own time. The relationship between fan and players was special. Take a moment or two and watch them play. John Unitas. Don Shula. Yes, he was a player too. Lenny Moore. John Mackey. Raymond Berry. Tom Maddy. Bubba Smith. Jimmy Orr. Alan Amici. Some were characters. Alex Hawkins and Joe Don Looney come to mind, and Art Donovan still making a spare buck or two being a one-of-a-kind talk show guest.
Hey, but what does berated mean? That's, I went to college to play football, not to study.
We watched them 60,000 strong in Memorial Stadium week after week, and we watched them on TV when they played out of town. Sundays revolved around the Colts, and we organized our lives to include them in. A fellow named Hearst Loudenslager, they called him Loudy, took his devotion to the Colts to an even higher level. He saw that team off on their game trips and welcomed them back at no matter what hour, and he was rarely alone. In 1972, though, new ownership, one last gasp of pretty good teams in the era of Burt Jones and company. Then more quickly than the love affair had blossomed, it died. And next thing you knew, they were gone.
Well, a lot of people ask me the memories you have of the stadium, and I tell them, I think the greatest memory is just being able to play there. Being drafted by the Colts way back in 1950, I can say it because I'm the only guy left that maybe played with the worst football team ever assembled, the 1950 Colts, and then playing maybe with the greatest, 57, 8, and 9.
Was a scrimmage that we had in the preseason, actually my first season, Horace, when I came to camp. George Shaw was taken down with the virus pneumonia, so I was pretty much the only quarterback in camp. And I walked out on that field, I could not believe my eyes. It was just breathtaking to see 48,000 screaming people in the stands for a scrimmage, for God's sake.
The Orioles might be the only game in town, but it was the Colts who first brought this stadium to life. John Unitas, Raymond Berry, Lenny Moore, Art Donovan, they turned this place into the world's largest outdoor insane asylum. Recently, the old dogs came home. Channel 2's Jamie Costello takes us back to September 15th for Colts Appreciation Day.
It's as if they never left.
Let's hear it for the Baltimore Colts marching band.
Chuck introducing the Colts band. The voice who said, Unitas, touchdown, Colts, to the band that brings goosebumps every time their horns raise to play the fight song.
I went back about 30 years. I got all choked up. I got goose pimples. I thought I was going to break down and cry, really.
The Colts don't play here anymore, but their memories do. On this Colts Appreciation Day, they came back. We caught a glimpse of Big Jim Parker. Ordell was here. The great Hall of Famer Lenny Moore.
During that era was a very unique period of time, you know, something that I don't think we'll ever witness again.
It's as if they stopped playing yesterday. Only our heroes are out of uniform. They're wearing sport coats and bandlines now. Artie was here, so was the greatest of them all-timer Johnny Unitas.
The people who were here at that time who came to watch the games were all pretty much the same age as we were, so we kind of grew up, you know, together. And it was okay for one of those guys to call us a no-good SB, but if a guy came in who they didn't know, they're going to get all over him. So, but it was fun, and we played. I mean, we went out and promoted the game. We went out and danced. I guess I danced more Paul Jones dance with more guys' wives than anybody in town.
This town, this city, this stadium grew up with the Colts. And if there is one man who can best describe playing in this palace, it would be the one, the only, Artie.
If I had played like in New York or Chicago, now who would know me in New York or Chicago today if I'd been a Giant or a Bear, right? But here in Baltimore, everybody knows you. You walk around and you're still like one of the big fish in a small pond. And don't let anybody kid you. You love it. You eat up every minute of it.
They will always be our heroes, for it's as if they never left. I'm Jamie Costello with the Magic Moment from Memorial Stadium.
Of course, as long as there was a team playing football here at Memorial Stadium on Sunday afternoons in the fall, there was a marching band who played for them. Every Sunday when the Colts were home, the Colts marching band would file out of this tunnel, march onto the field, and the place would go nuts. The fans would stand and cheer their football team. Of course, Bob Irsay ended that tradition when he moved his football team to Indianapolis 7 years ago. But the tradition of the Colts band plays on.
For decades, the Baltimore Colts band has made beautiful music at Memorial Stadium. The band was founded in 1947, an extension of the All-American Conference Baltimore Colts. The band began with approximately 65 musicians and 6 American flag carriers. Today, there are 95 musicians, a 12-member American flag section, a 30-member flag line with instructors and equipment crews, bringing the total number of band members to 150. In 1984, when the Baltimore Colts tiptoed out of town, the band remained together.
Baltimore wants an NFL football team. We're dedicated fans, we're a dedicated city, and I think what we need most here now is an NFL football team, and that's our mission.
This nonprofit, all-volunteer charitable organization continues even to this day to perform throughout the country at NFL games and holiday parades. Band members are proud to be the official Preakness Band. Although the band performed during Colts Appreciation Day at Memorial Stadium on September 15th, one of its last 33rd Street concerts could very well be when the band plays during pregame festivities on October 6th. Ever wonder